Okay, guys, so we're into phase two now. You should have a black shape in the shape of the bear logo. You should have also gone in with your direct selection tool and made any adjustments needed um, in order to get the curves as close to correct as possible. Again, not perfect. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to keep working from big to small. We're going to keep working from the outside in. I'm actually going to hide shape one. I might lock it as well. And just to be sure that I don't mess with shape one, when I start creating another shape, I'm going to create a new layer and really sort of try to get shape one out of the way. So let's grab the pen tool. And I'm going to change my fill color to my orange. You don't have to. Again, you could do this later if you want. And again, I'm going to start right in the middle up here, and I'm going to go all the way around. And again, pulling my handle in the direction of my curve. All right. Remember, these curves have directions, so we want to pull that handle in the direction of the curve. And again, I'm looking at the back side curve and trying to get that curve to be close to the curve from the original Bitmap logo. So again, down here. Now this is a sharp turn, so I'm just going to click and then come up here, pull. I might do a sharp one there, sharp one there, sharp one there. I can go back later and smooth that out if I think it doesn't look good. Again, to the peak middle of this arc here. This one has a little bit of curvature, so I'm going to make it super small. Zoom out a little bit. Again, I'm holding down Alt and using my roll wheel on my mouse. And I'm going to stop recording so I can get all the way through this without totally boring my students. Now again, once you get close to the end, you're going to want to close that curve by clicking on your original anchor point. Okay, so now that I have that, I'm going to bump my opacity back up to be orange. I'm going to show my black, copy again. I'm going to hide my background just to see what I have. And I might even select it so I don't have that outline anymore. And that looks pretty good. Some of the curves might be a little bit sharp, but at this point, I think they look good enough. So we're going to do that same thing. And again, continue to work outside in. I'm going to lock that, create a new layer. And now we're looking at, we could do this little, the chin part right here really quickly. You can get my pen tool, and I'm going to change to black. Start right in the middle, or you can start at a corner. That works sometimes too. 1, 2, 3. Again, I can't see now, so I'm going to take my opacity down. 4. I did that using only 4 anchor points. And now I'm going to extend that. That looks pretty good. That's all we need. Get it back up to 100. Lock it. Create a new layer. And now we're going to do this black part right here. Again, the big shape. So I'm going to start in the middle again. Pen tool. Boom. And again, I'm going to hit pause on the video as I work my way around using the same method I have before. So again, guys, this is all about learning how to control this tool, learning how to go back and edit using sorry, I was focusing. Using your direct selection tool. So again, I'm going to hit pause real quick. Okay, I accidentally, computer sort of malfunctioned on me. So again, I'm going to hit pause. I don't know what happened. I'm going to hit pause and finish this little shape. And once again, I'm almost back to where I started. So I'm going to record again. And I'm going to click on that. I don't like the sharpness of that. So again, I'm going to get my direct selection tool. Click to activate my handles. Extend those a little bit just to make them a little bit more round. I don't like the positioning of this one. And in fact, I'm going to double click on it. I think it should be a little bit round. So I'm pulling those out just a little bit. That's better. And now again, work your way around. Take the time to do this. Work your way around the outside. Make any necessary adjustments, like this one right here. Look how far off that line is compared to the logo beneath. So all I have to do is grab that handle, sort of move it up to fix it. Those are okay. This one's a little bit, this one's sort of goofy right here. Again, double click to get my handles. That one's going to go way in. This one's going to go, okay, that's better right there. I have the same problem on this side here. So again, double click. Don't get confused when that happens. Just grab the end of the handle and pull it in and watch the adjustment take place. I'm going to turn that one. Look how, okay, that one looks good. This one looks a little bit odd. Not too bad though. Pull that one out. Working my way around. This one might need a little, maybe I'll adjust this one. Pull that handle out to get that curve to cover. And this one probably needs to go up a little bit. Pretty good, pretty good, pretty good, pretty good. Okay, so now I'm going to change my opacity back. And again, let's take a look at what we have. So now because I have so many layers, I might want to group all of these. So I'm going to hold down, I'm going to unlock all these. I'm going to hold down Shift to grab all of the layers I've created, Control G to group, name it shapes, and move on to the next part. Okay, so for this next part, again, I can just hide my shapes there. Look at what I have. It's sort of fun to do that. You can see how you're off a little bit. You can see the lines wiggle just slightly. Don't worry too much, again, about being perfect. So I'm going to hide it, and I'm looking at what do we need to do next. So a couple different ways of going about this. I can start doing this detail stuff if I want. Again, I'm just sort of breaking it down, trying to figure out what step to do next based upon how these layers or these shapes look. Okay, so what I'm going to do is this whole outline, here, including this white part. And I'll show you how we're going to alter this later. So I'm doing this whole shape here that is inside of that black shape there. So again, I'm going to create a new layer, and if it creates outside of your group, that's fine. We could always drag and drop it into the group later. But I'm going to get my pen tool. I have black right now, that's fine. Again, I'll change that later, and I'm going to start right here. And I'm going to try to work this really quickly, because the most important part of this is you to understand why I'm doing the entire shape, even though we have two separate colors here. So again, sharp turn, only click once. And I'm almost there. And that's good enough right there, although that's a little bit messy. But we're going to leave that for now so we can get into why we just did that. I'm also going to change on the fly the color. I'm going to make that orange, and I'm going to bump this up a little bit. Okay, so the reason why we did this big shape is because I'm going to use this same curve to create this white part, and then we're just going to delete some of these anchor points and move one over, play with the handles a little bit to create that white part so we have matching curves. So they line up perfectly one over the top. So I'm going to duplicate that layer. I'm going to hide my layer 4. And I'm going to change this color to white. And then I'm going to take the opacity down so I can see through it. Now it's a matter of choosing which anchor point you want to move over. So if I get my direct selection tool, I grab this anchor point. I'm just going to move it for now to close to the area where I'm going to put it. And I'm going to start deleting just a few of these anchor points. And now I know I'm going to actually have to move this one up to here to create the sort of tip of that white part. I don't need that one. I don't need that one. And again, it's going to be a little bit different than our logo, but it's going to be close enough and it's going to look just fine. So again, I'm moving that one. I'm going to move this one up to here. The line's following pretty well. I might take this one, alter that a little bit. And now I'm going to take the opacity back up. show the orange one, show my shapes, and you'll see that we have something pretty close to what we need. The next thing I'm going to do, I don't want to have to rebuild this on this side because they're pretty much, if I hide all these, they're just flipped. It's the same thing, right? So what happens, and I haven't done this yet, so hopefully this works. I'm going to group that, Control G. I'm going to duplicate that group. And then with that selected, I'm going to go, let's see if I can get this to work. Transform, flip horizontal. Good, there we go. Now with my move tool, hide all this stuff, and I'm going to move this into place like so. So that saved a lot of work there. Anytime you can duplicate assets and either flip them or alter them a little bit, it saves a lot of time. So you have to get good at recognizing that as the case. Now to finish off the top part of this logo, it should be pretty simple, pretty straightforward. I'm going to hide all those, zoom in, and again, I'm not going to waste any of your time by showing you every single anchor point I create, but I'm going to do the tongue, or I don't know if that's a tongue or if it's an open throat, doesn't matter. I'm going to do this orange shape, the teeth separately, and we'll be ready to go. This white part down here as well, we're going to need to do that. But one thing about that part, maybe we'll do that right now, is I can actually, I'm going to do it in this layer, hide these. And I'm gonna move that one below this layer, and so it will tuck underneath this black part, and you won't have to worry about that part of the shape at all. So let me show you what I mean. So layer 5, you get my pen tool. It's orange right now. I don't really care. I'm gonna go up to here outside. I'm gonna click here and pull. I'm gonna click here, and I'm gonna pull it a little bit. And then I'm going to go all the way across and not care what that is, because I know at this point I'm going to change it to white. And if I move that down below the shapes and I show my shapes, oh, you got to move it above, right underneath layer 3. There it is. So you can't see this part up here because we have this shape that's over the top of it, overlapping it. So I don't have to worry about getting that too perfect. Okay, so again, now I'm going to go work on the other stuff, and I'll show you the result. Okay, so I have all the pieces created for the bear portion of the logo, the actual bear itself, and now we're going to move on in phase 3 to create that text at the bottom. I'm going to leave all this stuff unnamed, ungrouped. It's not going to be that big a deal. So yeah, there we go.